A hunting party of Mayan tribesmen tracks down a wild boar deep in the jungle and brings it down. The leader of the group is an older hunter named Flint Sky, but it's his son, Jaguar Paw, who starts handing out the meat to everyone in the group. Each man takes his piece with real respect except for one. Blunted, the group's resident outsider and easy target, gets handed the testicles. Jaguar Paw tells him it'll help him finally get his wife pregnant. Blunted takes one bite and immediately throws it back up while the rest of the group cracks up laughing at him. Heading back toward the village, the hunting party runs into a group of strangers wandering through the jungle. Starved, exhausted, clearly running from something. They ask only for permission to pass through. Jaguar Paw wants answers. He pushes to find out what happened to them, but his father stops him before he can dig further and waves the group through without incident. Jaguar Paw watches them disappear into the trees, clearly unsettled. Back at the village, Flint Sky pulls his son aside and tells him not to carry what he saw out there. He explains that fear works like a sickness. It spreads and takes hold of anyone who lets it in. He tells Jaguar Paw they'll figure out what to do about those wanderers tomorrow. But for tonight, there's nothing to worry about. That evening, the village is exactly what it's always been. Peaceful and tight-knit. Blunted gets mocked again, this time by his own mother-in-law, who openly scolds him in front of everyone for failing to get her daughter pregnant. Jaguar Paw goes to be with his own pregnant wife, 7. Later, the tribe gathers around a fire while an elder tells a story to the group. The night winds down with drinking, dancing, and everyone enjoying each other's company. Everything about this place feels safe. That safety ends the next morning in the worst way possible. While the village sleeps, a force of Mayan raiders surrounds it in total silence. The plan is to slip in and grab people before anyone wakes up. It doesn't go that quietly. The village wakes up mid-attack, and everything turns into chaos. People running, fighting, trying to survive whatever's happening to them. Jaguar Paw gets 7 and their son to a deep well outside the village, over 20 feet down, and starts lowering them in with a rope while the village burns behind him. A warrior comes at him mid-rescue and he's forced to fight the man off before he can finish getting his family to safety. Once 7 and the boy are deep enough in the hole, he tells them to wait and not come out no matter what, then runs back toward the fighting. What he finds is devastation. Huts on fire, bodies on the ground, survivors being tied up as prisoners. He spots his father locked in a fight with one of the raiders, a particularly vicious one named Middle Eye, and rushes to help. Jaguar Paw and Middle Eye trade blows, and it looks like Jaguar Paw might actually be getting the better of him. Then the raiders' leader, a warlord named Zero Wolf, steps in and ends the fight, throwing Jaguar Paw to the ground. Middle Eye is furious that he was about to lose and wants to kill Jaguar Paw on the spot. Zero Wolf won't allow it. Instead, Middle Eye turns on Flint Sky and kills him right in front of his son, clearly enjoying every second of it. The surviving villagers are bound together as prisoners. As they're forced to watch, several of the women are assaulted and killed in front of everyone, including Blunted's own wife. Jaguar Paw glances back at the well where he left 7. She hasn't been found yet, but now that the raiders are moving the prisoners out, there's no way left for her to climb out on her own. As far as he knows, leaving her there might be the same as leaving her to die. The prisoners are marched into the jungle. Along the way, they merge with another group of raiders holding a separate set of captives, and Jaguar Paw recognizes them immediately. These are the wanderers from the day before. Now he understands exactly what happened to the rest of their village. During the march, Zero Wolf takes a moment with his own son, a young warrior named Cut Rock, praising him for how he handled himself during the raid and gifting him a ceremonial dagger, a mark that he's now considered a man among them. The journey through the jungle is brutal. Hands bound, the prisoners are forced to march for days. At one point, while crossing a narrow cliff path, a line of prisoners nearly falls off the edge entirely. Middle Eye mocks them the whole time, taunting them to try and save themselves like it's a game. They manage to pull each other back up, mostly thanks to Jaguar Paw. It barely matters. Middle Eye shoves the weakest of them off the cliff anyway, just to remind everyone exactly how little their lives are worth to him. Back in the well, 7 and her son wait, with no idea if Jaguar Paw is even still alive, let alone coming back for them. Getting closer to their destination, the prisoners pass through huge stretches of cleared land. Massive trees cut down and stripped away like nothing. None of them have ever seen anything like it. Soon after, they pass through an area that looks like a wasteland, where a young girl sits holding her dead mother. The raiders keep their distance, whispering that she's infected with something. When she tries to approach one of them, she's shoved back. Instead of breaking down, she starts laughing and delivers a warning. That their end is coming. That they should fear the day the sky turns black. And that a man who runs with the jaguar will bring destruction down on all of them. The warning visibly unsettles everyone who hears it. They finally reach the Mayan city, and nothing could have prepared the prisoners for what they see. Towering buildings far bigger than anything in their village. Thousands of people crowding the streets. But underneath the scale of it all, the place is clearly sick. Disease is visibly spreading through the population, and the prisoners can't help but stare at the sheer scale of suffering hiding behind the size of it. As they're marched through the streets, the prisoners are painted blue from head to toe. They pass murals depicting brutal sacrifices of people also painted blue. Jaguar Paw studies the images. Middle Eye notices him looking and laughs, all but confirming what's coming for them. They're led to an area centered on enormous stone pyramids, painted red, with steep staircases running straight up the middle. Crowds gather around the base, chanting and dancing in unison. At the top of the main pyramid, a group of priests are at work, and a headless body comes tumbling down the steps into the crowd below. Jaguar Paw watches it happen, fully understanding now what's waiting for him at the top. The prisoners are marched up. A high priest addresses the crowd, explaining that plague has struck the city and made the people look weak. But they aren't weak, and to prove it, they're going to offer sacrifices to their god. The crowd cheers. The first sacrifice is horrific. A prisoner is laid flat on the altar and cut open while still alive, his insides pulled out and offered up before he's beheaded. It happens again to a second prisoner while Jaguar Paw, blunted, and the others watch, fully aware they're next and powerless to stop any of it. When it's finally Jaguar Paw's turn, he's laid on the stone. The priest raises the blade. At the very last second, a solar eclipse begins. The sky darkens in real time. The entire crowd and the priests panic, reading it as a direct sign from their god that he's already satisfied with the sacrifices given. The killing stops immediately. Jaguar Paw's life is spared. It isn't over. The surviving prisoners are taken out to an open field on the edge of the city, jungle visible beyond it. Blunted and another prisoner are untied first and told to run for the Trilene, their freedom if they can make it. They run. The warriors immediately start firing arrows and throwing weapons at them as target practice. Both men go down before they get close. Jaguar Paw is sent next, alongside another prisoner. He zigzags as he runs, dodging incoming strikes, looking like he might actually make it, until a weapon catches the other runner in the face, and another hits Jaguar Paw square in the side. He drops, appearing finished. Cut Rock moves in to deliver the killing blow personally, but blunted, still alive on the ground, grabs his foot and throws him off balance just long enough for Jaguar Paw to turn the tables. He kills Cut Rock and bolts into the jungle. Zero Wolf watches his son die and completely loses it. What started as recapturing an escaped prisoner is now personal. He orders every man with him into the jungle after Jaguar Paw. The chase that follows pushes both predator and prey to their limits. Jaguar Paw, badly wounded, manages to climb a tree and hide in the foliage as the warriors run beneath him, but blood from his wound drips down and lands directly on one of the trackers' backs, giving away exactly where he went. While hiding, Jaguar Paw also realizes he's not alone up there. A fully grown jaguar is watching him from a nearby branch. On the ground, the warriors spread out searching for him. When one gets too close while chasing a noise through the brush, the jaguar leaps out and takes him down instead of Jaguar Paw. The remaining warriors immediately connect this back to the sick girl's prophecy, the man running with the jaguar, and start to panic that they're dealing with something bigger than a simple manhunt. Zero Wolf shuts the panic down and keeps them moving. Back in the well, Seven and her son have their own crisis. A troop of baboons fighting overhead sends one of them falling straight into the hole, and Seven is forced to beat it off before it can hurt her child. The warriors keep tracking Jaguar Paw through the jungle. One of them spots markings on a tree and calls the others over, only for a snake to strike from the foliage and kill him on the spot. They leave the body and keep moving. Eventually they close back in on Jaguar Paw, firing arrows and throwing spears that miss him by inches as he runs flat out until the ground runs out beneath him. A massive waterfall with nowhere left to go but down. With the warriors closing in behind him, he jumps. He survives the fall. Climbing out on the far shore, he turns to face the warriors watching from a distance and openly taunts them, declaring exactly who he is, that this is his forest, and that he knows it better than any of them ever will. Zero Wolf orders his remaining men to jump in after him. One hesitates and questions the order. Zero Wolf kills him instantly without a word, then leads the jump himself. Jaguar Paw keeps moving, stumbling into a mud pit and nearly drowning in it before pulling himself out, completely coated, collapsing on his back for a moment. He pushes himself back up. 7 is still out there waiting for him, and giving up isn't an option. He turns the tables on his pursuers using the terrain itself. At one point he appears in front of the warriors covered in mud, holding a giant folded leaf above his head. Before they can react, he throws it at them, and it turns out to be a hornet's nest. It explodes on impact, and the warriors are swarmed and stung into a complete frenzy. Later, Jaguar Paw tracks down a poisonous toad and coats several sharpened darts in its venom. He sets a marker in the jungle as bait, circles around behind his pursuers, and fires one of the poisoned darts into a warrior, killing him instantly. Middle Eye finds the body and goes to investigate, right as Jaguar Paw steps into the open across from him. The two finally face off directly. Middle Eye swings an axe at him wildly. Jaguar Paw ducks under it, grabs a second axe off the ground, and brings it down on Middle Eye, killing him. Back in the well, 7 tries rigging a vine and stick into a makeshift grapple to climb out with her son. She gets about halfway up before the stick snaps and she falls back down. Then it starts raining hard. The water pours directly into the well, and the level starts rising fast around their feet. In the middle of all this, 7 goes into labor. In the jungle, Zero Wolf catches up to Jaguar Paw alone. He fires an arrow straight into his chest, dropping him to the ground. Jaguar Paw forces himself back up and goads Zero Wolf into charging at him. And as Zero Wolf does, he runs straight into a hunting trap, the exact same kind used to take down the boar at the very start of the film. It spears him through the chest. Back in the flooding well, 7 is forced to stand on a rock just to keep her head above the rising water, giving birth right there in the middle of it, the newborn arriving into the darkness and the flood around her. Jaguar Paw finally breaks out of the jungle and reaches the ocean. The last 2 surviving warriors are still right behind him, until all 3 of them freeze at the same time, staring out at something none of them have ever seen before. Massive ships anchored offshore, with smaller boats rowing toward the beach carrying men in unfamiliar clothing. The shock is enough to stop the warriors in their tracks completely, and Jaguar Paw uses the moment to break away and run for his family. He reaches the well just in time, pulling 7 and both of his children out of the rising water and to safety. Later, Jaguar Paw and 7 move along the edge of the jungle, the strange ships still visible out on the horizon.